But we were talking about Alistair Stewart, of course, being on the show, and we surprised him, or you surprised him, with Peter Grigg from Homestart UK, the charity you interviewed at the briefing for Kensington Palace. Because the Princess of Wales, although, and I should say, she's absolutely not back at work and still continuing her cancer recovery, but she has seen and is very excited by a new report from, this is a bit of a mouthful, so forgive me, but the Princess of Wales's Royal Foundation Centre for Early Childhood Business Task Force. I'm so glad I nailed that.
That
first time.
That was a mouthful.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did absolutely nail it. Yes, they published a report this week setting out the business case for prioritising early childhood, and they've crunched the numbers, and they estimate that investing in early childhood could generate at least 45.5 billion in additional revenue for the UK economy each year.
Yeah.
What did you make of the report?
I mean, it was a huge number. I think the report itself, there's not many people, the Princess, who can galvanise big bosses of top UK companies to come together into a room and come up with ideas to put into this report, which we were told by one source that it should be seen as a bit of a blueprint as to how businesses, big or small, whether it's like a coffee shop in Wolverhampton or a big chain like IKEA, can make small adjustments to help out the working parents who work for the company, and B, just the investment in young children, how that in the future can benefit society and make businesses more productive because people are taking less sick days or less mental health days and things like that. So we got a bit of a crunch down of the numbers. We'll try and not make this too boring for you, but Emma Franklin, who's director of consulting at Deloitte, which produced the task force report, said investing in social and emotional skills for the under fives, known as so-called like soft skills, associated with resilience, problem solving, empathy, the productivity gain of that could be £12.2 billion each year. Then there's also encouraging parents and caregivers, giving them or helping them with more suitable childcare for under fives, could come to 17.2 billion a year. And then also mitigate what they'd say is mitigating the adverse childhood experiences. In other words, if a child has a poor start in life, is neglected between the years 0 to 5, they're more likely to have mental health problems, addiction. That's why the Princess started all of this in the first place with early childhood and investing in early childhood. And the reduction of the money spent on dealing with crisis like mental health, addiction, crime could come to 16.1 billion. So all of that rounds up to, what was it,
45.5 billion.
45.5 billion. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, and on the scale of that, something that you said, and the example that was given during the briefing really stuck with me, where they said, we want this to be implemented across businesses in the UK, whether that's a small coffee shop in Wolverhampton or, a titan of an industry. And being born and raised in Wolverhampton, I can almost picture my local coffee shop. And then when they said that at the briefing, we were sat in Deloitte's headquarters in London, Deloitte being a multi-international company. And so from thinking about exactly what a local coffee shop in Wolverhampton looks like to this multi-international business, the scale of what they want to implement, you can see why it would be worth 45.5 billion, but it will be a huge challenge to be able to get businesses of all shapes and sizes to be able to buy into this.
Yeah, it's incredibly ambitious, and I can't imagine a small struggling coffee shop in Wolverhampton, for example, is going to be able to help their employees with childcare, which is clearly incredibly expensive. We also know that clearly the Princess cannot be political. She's obviously been briefed on the report and can convene people together. But we do know that the Early Childhood and the Royal Foundation have briefed the government on the report. So Downing Street's been informed, the Department for Education, Department for Health. We're told that conversations were not political, but I think it would be interesting at some point to hear their views on this, and also see if they implement strategies from other companies. And the Princess of Wales went on a fact-finding mission to Denmark to see how they support early childhood and how that really impacts their society, and whether the government here is going to implement that. So although the Princess isn't directly getting involved in politics, it does have implications for wider society.